There are people in your life whose opinion of you still has power. You know who they are. A single comment from them can rearrange your entire day. A look, a silence, a message that says nothing and somehow says everything. And the most painful part isn't what they say. It's that you're still listening, still waiting, still building your sense of yourself around whether or not they approve. That isn't a weakness, and it isn't permanent. But it does have a source, and once you see it, it loses everything. If you already know exactly who came to mind just now, hit like, it means this found the right person at the right time. Here's the thing everyone gets wrong about becoming untouchable. They think it means building walls. They think the goal is to stop caring, to become so indifferent, so cold, so sealed off from other people's opinions that nothing can get through. And so they try. They practice not reacting. They tell themselves they don't care. They work on their poker face. They perform detachment. And it doesn't work because the walls aren't the problem. The problem is what's underneath them. You can build the highest wall in the world, and a single sentence from the right person still finds a way through. Not because your wall is too short, but because there is something on the inside of it that is waiting to be found. An old wound, a belief that was installed before you had the words to question it. A place that still holds the verdict of someone who had no business delivering one. Epictetus understood this more clearly than almost anyone who has ever written about the human mind. He wrote, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." But what most people miss about that instruction is what it requires first. Knowing with absolute precision where your power actually begins. Not in other people's actions. Not in their opinions. Not in whether they approve, include, or understand you. Only in what happens inside you in response. And you cannot govern that interior space until you have seen what is living there. Think of it this way. Two buildings can stand side by side in the same storm. One survives and one collapses, and the difference has almost nothing to do with the walls. It has everything to do with the foundation. A building with thick walls and a cracked foundation will shake itself apart from the inside the moment the ground moves. A building with thin walls and a deep, solid foundation will flex, absorb, and hold. The storm doesn't change. What changes is what the building is resting on. Most people trying to become untouchable are building thicker walls on a cracked foundation. They add more discipline, more detachment, more performance of not caring, and the foundation underneath it all is still the same one that was laid in childhood, in the houses of people who may not have known how to build it, right? The cracks are still there, and every harsh word, every cold look, every moment of disapproval finds them unerringly, not because those people are powerful, but because the cracks give them somewhere to go. Real protection is not armor. It is a foundation so deep and so solid that when the storm comes, there's nothing to find. Not because you stop feeling, but because the place that used to make you flinch no longer exists. And this distinction changes everything. There are specific ways this cracked foundation shows up in your daily life. And if you recognize yourself in any of these, understand what they're actually showing you. Because none of them are character flaws. All of them are maps. The first is over-explaining yourself in conversations. Not because anyone asked, not because clarity was needed, but because somewhere in the exchange, you felt a gap open up between what you said and how it might have landed, and you rushed to fill it. You added context nobody required. You softened the edges of a position that didn't need softening. You kept talking past the point where you should have stopped, driven by a quiet urgency to make sure they understood, to make sure they still thought well of you. This is not poor communication. This is a foundation that believes it needs to earn its right to stand. The second is rehearsing arguments in your head for conversations that haven't happened. You replay interactions that are finished, recasting them with better responses, sharper comebacks, cleaner versions of what you should have said. You prepare for confrontations that may never come, building cases, stockpiling evidence, readying yourself for attacks from people who may not even be thinking about you. This mental rehearsal is in preparation. It is a foundation that does not yet believe it is safe, that keeps a watch going even when there is nothing at the gates. The third is the physical tension that arrives before a word is spoken. You walk into a room where a certain person is present and your body changes before they've said anything. Shoulders, jaw, breath, something in you braces. Not for what they have done, but for what they might do, for the verdict they might deliver. Your nervous system has learned to treat their presence as a threat because in some earlier version of your life, their judgment was the environment you had to survive. The body remembers what the mind tries to move past. And until the foundation is rebuilt, the body will keep sounding the alarm for a danger that no longer exists in the form it once did. The fourth is scanning reactions after you speak. You say something in a meeting, in a conversation, at a table with people who matter to you. And before the sentence has fully left you, your attention has already shifted. Not to what comes next, but to their face, their eyes, the micro expressions that tell you whether you got it right, whether they approve, whether you are still welcome in their estimation. This is one of the most exhausting things a human being can do, and most people doing it have been doing it so long they don't notice anymore. It has become the background noise of their social life. A constant low-level audit of whether they are still acceptable. This is not social intelligence. This is a foundation that was built on the approval of others and has never been rebuilt on anything more solid. Every single one of these behaviors points to the same place. Not to weakness, not to damage, but to a foundation that was laid by someone else. In conditions you did not choose, at an age when you had no alternative, you built on what was given. And now, for the first time, you have the tools to build something different. But here is what no one tells you about what comes next. There is a specific sentence that someone said you or didn't say, which is sometimes worse, that is still running. You may not think about it consciously, but it is there. In the way you brace before certain conversations. In the specific category of criticism that lands harder than any other. In the type of person whose opinion still has the ability to reach past your defenses and find something soft and unprotected underneath. You didn't choose that sentence. You didn't choose the person who delivered it, or the age at which it arrived, or the circumstances that made you unable to question it at the time. It was handed to you as fact during a period of your life when you were still deciding what was true about yourself. And so it became part of the foundation. Not as a belief you chose, but as a load-bearing assumption about your own worth that everything else was built on top of. Here is the most important thing this video can tell you. The power that sentence has over you is not in the sentence. It is in the unexamined agreement you made with it. The moment you accepted it as true, even provisionally, even just to survive the situation, it became structural. It stopped being an opinion and started being a wall in your foundation. And walls and foundations are not removed by ignoring them. They are removed by inspection, by standing in front of them in full light and saying, I can see you. I know where you came from, and you are not low-bearing anymore. Epictetus spent decades in slavery before writing the words that have outlasted every empire that owned him. What he understood, in a way that only someone who has had every external freedom stripped away can understand, is that the only thing no one can take from you is your response. Not the feeling, not the pain, your response. And response begins at the foundation. Here is something to do right now. Think of the specific category of criticism that still lands hardest. Not the person, just the category. Approval, intelligence, worthiness, likability, competence, find the orgy. That word is the name of the crack, and naming a crack is the first step in filling it. The foundation is not broken. It is unfinished, and you are the only one who can finish it. This is when everything begins to shift. You came into this video looking for permission. Permission to stop caring what they think. Permission to stop bracing. Permission to live a day without running the audit of whether you are still acceptable to the people whose approval you are trained to need. Here is that permission, but it comes with a truth attached. You were never waiting for permission from them. You were waiting for it yourself. The people whose opinions still reach you are not powerful. They are simply standing near the crack. And the crack has been there since long before they arrived. This is not their fault, and it is not yours. But it is your responsibility now not to be angry about it, not to explain it to anyone, simply to see it and to decide that the foundation gets finished by you on your terms, starting now. The storm does not stop. People will continue to have opinions. Some of them will deliver those opinions with precision and without kindness. Some of the people you love most will say things that would have once taken you apart. None of that changes. What changes is what they find when those words arrive. A building with a finished foundation does not shake when the ground moves. It settles, it absorbs, it holds, not because nothing is felt, but because there is nothing left unfinished for the force to find. This is what nobody and nothing touching you actually means. Not numbness, not coldness, not the performance of not caring. It means that when someone's words arrive, even the sharpest ones, even from the people whose approval once defined you, they land on solid ground. They already felt they are considered, and then they are released because there is no crack for them to settle into, no old verdict for them to confirm, no unfinished place in the foundation, still waiting for someone else's approval to fill it. You finish the foundation, not in one conversation or one video or one moment of clarity, but in the accumulation of small choices to stop over-explaining, to stop scanning, to stop rehearsing, to stop bracing, and to start trusting that you are allowed to stand exactly as you are. Nobody and nothing will be able to touch you. Not because you stopped feeling, because you finally gave yourself permission to be finished. If this named something you've been waiting to hear, write in the comments, "I'm done being unfinished." Let's see how many of us are ready to lay the last stone. If this channel is new to you, subscribe. Every video here is built for the exact stage you are in right now, and the next one goes deeper into something this one only opened the door to. Don't stop here. The most important part of the foundation is what gets laid next.